Hey guys, Fantastic Mr. S here again, and you're watching Dangerously Rockin' Reviews! Now, before you ask, no, I did not move away. I just happen to be on vacation in Phoenix right now, and I'm having a blast! However, what I'm not going to be enjoying is this next album I gotta do. It happens to be a reunion album that came out in the year of 2013. Man, do I wish. This is actually a Fall Out Boy album that's called Save Rock and Roll. It's not so much that I don't like Fall Out Boy. I mean, their music isn't bad, at least their first few albums weren't. And even though their songs did become more and more poppy as their career progressed, they always managed to retain the rock element of their sound. But then they broke up in 2009, and then got back together 4 years later to record a new album in secret. And considering that it's called Save Rock and Roll, you'd think that they'd keep their punk rock part of their sound intact. Sadly, that's not the case. When I first heard this album, I was both disappointed and annoyed with it, even by Fall Out Boy standards. Seriously, this isn't Fall Out Boy, this is lead singer Patrick Stump and electronic sound! Possibly featuring other members of Fall Out Boy. And I was like, where's the electric guitar sound? Where are the natural drums? Are you seriously telling me that Fall Out Boy, a punk pop rock band, made an electro-popish album and had the balls to call it Save Rock and Roll? What? Also, Patrick Stump's singing has gotten more annoying on here too. But I guess it could be 10 times worse. I don't know, maybe that has something to do with the electronic assets that he's singing to. Okay, so how do the songs themselves fare? Well, we got Where Did the Party Go?, which is okay. My songs Know What You Did in the Dark? Hate it. The Phoenix? That sounds like a screech that you'd hear on a computer virus. Did they really think that was a cool sound to be using for a pop album? God, I thought those extreme close-ups in the music video for Poker Face were scary. Ah! Oh, stop! Stop! God! Don't ever do that again! For God's sake! Please! And of course we have the album's title track, featuring Elton John. Wait, what? They got Elton John to do this album? What? What were you thinking, Elton John? You, one of the greatest songwriters in the world. Did you really think this was gonna be a good album? Okay, again, maybe I'm being a little too harsh on this album. It has some good moments on there, Elton John's guest appearance being one of them, and I kinda like the song Rat Attack, not just because Courtney Love guest sings on it, although it certainly helps. But also because Stump's singing is actually pretty good here. It's almost like listening to Phil Collins, only with modern production. But my opinion on the rest of the album, especially those first 3 songs I just mentioned, that does not change. And from what I can gather from the sound of Save Rock and Roll, they're trying to blend epic elements with modern pop elements, which I find very problematic. First of all, they overproduced this album by a lot. I know that's what most producers love doing nowadays, but Come on! It's friggin' Fall Out Boy! There's no reason to overproduce their music! And second, mixing pop with epicness? Come on, that rarely ever works. Because usually one of them is bound to overpower the other. If you're gonna make a pop record, make a pop record! Same goes for the other element. If you're gonna make an epic album, go all out! But with that said, is Save Rock and Roll really that bad of an album? I guess not, but it's just not for me, okay? It's not for me. Then again, Fall Out Boy never really was my kind of band to begin with. But even if they were, this album would have sucked anyway. I know Fall Out Boy were trying to evolve and sound more modern, but in the end, the album just feels contrived, and that they've sold their souls just to become more mainstream than they already were, especially after they've just ended their hiatus. But what's more mind-boggling is its title, Save Rock and Roll. It's just very misleading. Let's just leave it at that. Oh, this album's epic, alright. An epic average. Epic average. But there is good news, though. There is good news. They did release an EP that exact same year called Pax AM Davis. I listened to it, and I quite enjoyed it. It's got no electronic assets or any of that overproduction. It's just good old hard rock and rawness, which harkens back to the band's roots. Granted, it's not one of the best albums I've listened to, but if you're a fan of Fall Out Boy, I'd recommend it over Save Rock and Roll any day. I'm the fantastic Mr. S, and if you'll excuse me, I got a vacation to return to.